Says, behind in the show, my daughter is friends with Nick's daughter. She spent the night last week. Nick's kids were for sure affected by Nick's actions. Yeah, I can understand why he'd be in denial of that. I mean, it's a traumatic thing to have to think about, but you got to face it at some point. You got to face it at some point.
I know it doesn't make it okay, but nobody gives a shit 99% of the time, especially.
Everybody gives a shit when somebody gets arrested when they have 5 children and they've got enough cocaine to kill a horse. That everybody cares about that. When they see a news story of just a nobody.
Just couldn't find a horse.
When people have a news story about a nobody who gets arrested and they have kids and they have drugs, their immediate impulse, they go, oh, fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit. That asshole. Blah, blah, blah. So, Nick, people care about this kind of stuff. And then you are the classic example of the more you lie and the more you fight, the worse it's going to get.
When the kids are okay. And I don't know how else to tell you guys. My kids are just fine.
I press X to doubt. You're not going to know until years from now. Although there are a lot of kids who grow up with piece of shit dads.
Mm-hmm.
And they grow up like pretty well because they like see their parents as drug addicts and they see them fuck up and they want to be the complete opposite of that.
Hell, I'm raising one right now.
Jesus.
Because there wasn't actually some sort of exposure. My daughter did not do cocaine.
10 times the cutoff. And don't try to act like the dropping of the child endangerment charge had anything to do with it, because you said yourself the child endangerment charge predated the positive test. Nick, the average CPS case wraps up in 45 days. Yours took 6 months. It's because of the positive cocaine test. The state believed it. CPS believed it. Why? Because those hair follicle tests are the gospel that we base these things on. You're tested multiple times. And it came back each time 10 times the cutoff for the metabolites for cocaine. None of the other kids tested positive.
Right. There were no false positives anywhere else.
So no, Nick, nobody but you believes that horse shit.
To think that she sat around doing cocaine is literally...
Nobody thinks she sat there chopping up lines and going... We think that you're a shitty drug addict parent who wasn't paying attention and she got into it.
And then I think she didn't sit still afterwards. Like, just, I bet she was moving.
There are a couple instances that I saw personally of very strange behavior, is all I'll say. Because this guy keeps lying. Like, this is a weird spot he puts people like Keanu and I who have firsthand experience. He puts us in this weird spot where we want to call out his lies, but it's really uncomfortable because you don't want to, like...
Because part of you has to admit you were there when it was happening.
No, it's not it. Like,
okay.
I don't want to talk about people's children and shit, but he lies.
Right.
I saw strange behavior. I saw strange behavior that can very easily be explained by being high on a stimulant.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Emotions, erratic, confessions of like highly Look, when the test came out and it was positive, I will say this, a lot of things made sense to me after that test came out. And if he would stop lying, we wouldn't have to be put in these weird situations.
Fucking crazy. Like, that's nuts. And to think that the county would like not pick up on that and would have no problem returning our children to us. They were back.
Their investigation took 3 times longer than the average CPS investigation. It took 6 months to close the investigation. In Minnesota, the average is 45 days.
Sir, that's not no problem. There were certainly hurdles encountered, obviously passed, but no problem? I'm going to call bullshit on that one.
Back in our care in 2 months. I mean, our case is closed.
That's a long time. They kept them away for 2 months which is usually a case is closed. Not only are the kids returned, but the investigation's closed by then. They kept them away for 2 months because they needed to prove that there were no drugs in the home, and they needed to prove that you could stay clean for that long because they didn't want the kid getting high again. I mean, this fucking liar, man. I got your ass. Keanu has got your ass, and we will rip you to fucking pieces every time you lie about other people. We got you in checkmate, bitch. Now, either put your fucking life together and get your shit together, or you will continue to be checked. And the only people who will give you a safe space to spew your lies will be a pedophile and his Pajit buddy. That's it.
2006. They were back in our care in 2. This is not a case where the county had any thought that our children were ingesting drugs in any way.
Release the body cam footage. He's making statements that are untrue. The county did believe it because they released the test. They released the test in the CPS hearing. They were like, this is the test. This one tested positive. They would not have presented that if they didn't believe it.
So if that's your hang up, good news. You can even think that it happened.
Okay, deal. I know it happened.
Question.
Yeah.
Weren't we asking about why people think your life is so interesting and why we're again, I feel like this was a whole thing. Like, you just answered a question nobody asked. Like, all right, if you want to believe that, go ahead, fine. Right, we weren't even talking about that, though.
This is what I mean. You see what I mean now when I said he reveals a lot without even being asked?
Yeah.
You just gave the reasons why people are interested in this shit show. And then you continuing to lie about it doesn't help.
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Path you choose. Just know my kids are really healthy, and that's great. That's what everybody should be fucking happy about.
I fucking hope so, but it's hard to trust you because you're a lying liar who lies. So, and then he gets incredulous when people don't believe him. Like, that makes them smart. Like, if people don't believe you, that makes them a smart person. For God's sake. Yeah, so Nick gets asked, why are people hung up on your personal life? And then he just states all the reasons why people are hung up.
Right.
$5 from Silverwolf says, actually, Nick, the kids aren't okay. In fact, I'd even go as far to say the kids aren't all right. I know this. Anyone who's around Nick, especially in the state he's in now, anybody around him is not in an optimum situation and isn't safe. So, I mean, this is, that's just crazy talk. That's just next level cope.